You do not meet the pink dolphin with your eyes. You meet it with doubt. A river the color of coffee. A surface reflecting the canopy like broken glass. And then one impossible thing. A flash of pale pink under black water, then gone. You hear a breath close enough to raise the hair on your arms, but you still see nothing. You lean forward because your brain wants proof. Then the river gives you a shape, smooth and silent, just long enough to make you believe. And then it shows you the real danger. Not teeth, not claws, us, a boat drifting in, hands offering fish like a bargain, cameras hunting the moment. That is when the truth lands. The pink dolphin is not the mystery. The problem is what happens when we get too close. Be honest right now. If you saw something that rare, something that beautiful, would you reach for it? Or would you let it stay wild? If you are new here, this is Flying River Amazon. We do not chase postcards. We chase what the jungle actually does. And the Amazon does not run on miracles. It runs on systems. So here is the story the river tells, if you are quiet enough to hear it. The first test is visibility. The Amazon does not give you clear water. It gives you uncertainty. You can stare into this river for an hour and see nothing, and still be surrounded by predators. That is why people call the pink dolphin magical, because it looks like it does not belong. But out here, magic is usually just adaptation we have not respected yet. The pink dolphin is not a fantasy creature. It is a predator, a navigator, a survivor. It lives in water you cannot see through. It lives in currents that change the map every season. It lives in a rainforest that floods and drains like it is breathing. And it learned how to win inside that chaos. Not with speed, with intelligence, with sound. Because in this river, eyes do not win. Sound wins. The dolphin sends clicks into the water, and the river answers back. Not in words, in shapes. A fish turning, a branch drifting, a wall of roots, a hollow under a log, a danger line stretched tight where it should not be. That last one matters, because when an animal sees with sound, noise is not background. Noise is weather, noise is fog, noise is a war. And the Amazon is getting louder. Let me bring you into how the river actually feels. The air is wet, not like rain, like breath. The banks smell like rot and life at the same time. Insects scream from the trees like the forest is powered by electricity. And under everything, the river moves. Even when it looks still, it is moving. That is a rule out here. Nothing is truly still. Not the water, not the jungle, not the silence. And then you hear it. A soft exhale. Not dramatic, just close enough to remind you that something big is near. And then the flash. Pink. Not neon, not cartoon. A living blush sliding under black water. And your brain does what it always does. It tries to turn the moment into a story, a miracle, a blessing, a sign. But the dolphin is not thinking about your story. It is thinking about fish, space, survival, and the way it survives is so Amazon, it feels unfair. It hunts inside darkness, like it owns the map. Here is something most people do not understand about the Amazon. This is not just a river. It is a machine with season. In the wet season, the water rises and turns the rainforest into an ocean of branches. Trees become pillars underwater. Roots become walls. Fish spill into flooded forests. In the dry season, the water drops and channels tighten. Fish concentrate. Competition becomes violent. The pink dolphin survives both. It follows fish into flooded forests. It moves through tree mazes where you would swear nothing that large could pass. And that is why its body looks the way it does. A flexible neck, so it can turn in tight spaces. A long beak, so it can probe into hidden corners. It is not built for open ocean speed. It is built for a labyrinth. It is built for the Amazon. So when people ask why it is here, the answer is simple. Because it learned the system. And now the system is changing faster than it can adapt. That is the beginning of the problem. Most people do not meet the pink dolphin through biology. They meet it through myth, the Boto. In the story, the dolphin becomes a man at night, well-dressed. Charming like a blade, he dances, then disappears back into the river before sunrise. People treat it like folklore, a fun story. But myths are rarely just fun. They are warnings wrapped in beauty. Because the Boto story is really saying this. The river can take you. The river can change you. The river can hide truth and still make you chase it. And when you grow up with a legend like that, you do not treat the dolphin like an animal. You treat it like a sign. And signs get used. Used for luck. Used for romance. Used for blessing. And now, used for content. For the perfect clip. For the perfect thumbnail. For proof you were closer than everyone else. And when everyone is chasing the same moment, the animal pays. Here is another detail that matters. The dolphin is not always pink. Pink changes. Age, scars, blood flow, temperature, light. Some days it looks grey. Some days a faint blush. Some days, when the sun hits right, it glows. That glow pulls humans in. It makes people hungry for closeness. And humans are the one predator the dolphin cannot predict. Here is what makes this story uncomfortable. It does not have one villain. It has pressure. 1,000 small choices that feel harmless. And the Amazon does not punish you immediately. It punishes you over time. First link, nets. Fishing is survival out here. Food, income, daily life. But nets do not care what they catch. And remember, this animal navigates with sound. A net is quiet. A net is invisible. A net is a mistake you only feel after it is too late. Once tangled, panic does the rest. Second link, engines, propellers, boat traffic, channel after channel filled with human noise. If your whole world is built on hearing, and we flood your world with machines, we are not disturbing nature. We are rewriting reality. Third link, poison that does not look like poison. The Amazon carries everything. And whatever enters the water climbs the food chain. Fish absorb it. Bigger fish absorb more. Predators eat the fish, and predators collect the consequences. Beauty does not protect you from chemistry. Now comes the link that looks like kindness. Tourism, feeding, connection. This is where the title becomes real. Because feeding feels like love. You throw fish, the dolphin comes closer, you get your moment, and you tell yourself you are helping. But the dolphin learns fast. Food appears when humans appear, and a wild animal becomes a performer. Not because it wants attention, because it wants to eat. And that lesson is deadly. Humans are food. So the dolphin follows boats, approaches docks, crowds into tight spaces, moves closer to propellers. More contact, more risk, more conflict. And the river does not forgive mistakes. So answer honestly. Do you think feeding wildlife is help or harm? If you have ever done it, no shame, just truth. Because this is how systems break. Not with one big evil act, with easy choices that feel good. Now I am going to take you into one moment, late afternoon. Coffee-colored water. Roots like black fingers gripping the bank. Humidity so heavy, it feels like a hand on your chest. At first, nothing. Just insects. Birds far away. A slow ripple, then a breath. Close. Your body reacts before your brain does. You lean forward, and that is your mistake. Because leaning forward is how we invite the Amazon to test us. A ripple touches your direction. Not a wave, a sign. Then pink, a flash. And it is beautiful in a way that does not feel fair. You want to chase it, but the river is not a stage. It does not perform for your camera. It operates, and then you hear it. An engine, not loud yet, but approaching. And suddenly, the whole moment changes. Because the dolphin is not thinking about your wonder. It is thinking about survival. It is listening. Is that sound danger? Is it closing? Is there space to move? When something lives by sound, every noise is information. So the dolphin shifts. One breath, then gone. And you are left with the thing that hurts the most. Not the loss, the uncertainty. You never know if you scared it away. Or if the river did. Or if it simply decided you were not worth the risk today. That is the pink dolphin problem. We chase closeness, and the animal learns caution. Or it learns the wrong lesson. It learns that humans mean food. Both outcomes are bad, just in different ways. If we want to protect this animal, we have to stop thinking emotionally. We have to think like the river, systemically. What does the dolphin need? Quiet water to hunt, clean water to live, space to stay wild, fish stable enough to feed, and humans who stop turning it into a product. Because once an animal becomes a product, pressure never stops. More tours, more boats, more feeding, more clips. And the dolphin becomes less dolphin, more object. And that is not just sad, it is fatal. Here is another truth. The pink dolphin is not alone. It is part of a network. When dolphins move, fish move. When fish move, birds move. When the river changes, everything feels it. So if the dolphin disappears, it is not just a species problem. It is a system problem. And system problems do not stay small. They spread. The Amazon is beautiful. But its beauty is not soft. It is functional. It does not pause for emotion. It keeps going. Balance is math, and math requires pressure. You cannot bargain with physics. You cannot negotiate with chemistry. The river keeps score, and the pink dolphin lives inside that scoreboard. That is why the title matters. Because the problem is not the dolphin. The problem is the gap between what we want the dolphin to be and what it actually is. We want it gentle, friendly, a mascot. But it is wild. It is a predator. It deserves distance. Distance is not cold. Distance is respect. Now let me ask you something that sounds simple but is not. If something is rare and beautiful, should humans be allowed to touch it? Or should we learn how to admire without interfering? Because this is not only about dolphins. This is about how we treat the Amazon. We show up, we take, we film, We leave, and we call it appreciation. Sometimes it is pressure, and the difference is everything. If you want the rainforest as it really is, not the postcard, subscribe. This channel exists to show the Amazon operating, not performing. We end where we started. Black water. That breath. That flash of pink that feels impossible. Here is my last question. If the most unforgettable creature in the Amazon can be harmed by harmless human choices, what else is powerful that we refuse to notice? This is Flying River Amazon. Tell me in the comments, would you swim closer or back away and let it stay wild? Because out here, the Amazon never sleeps.